Hey there, welcome everyone to another edition of Vegas Bad Boys of Podcasting. I'm DJ Impact. We got Matt Michaels here and Rob with us as well. No Sin City Steve tonight. He's at a company party. As you all know, it's the holiday time, so lots are going on.
To an AEW party?
I don't think they let him in. They should though.
That's his company, right?
Right. Oh man. Well, yeah, man. But that time, and thank you guys for hanging out with us. To be honest with you, this will probably be the last Wrestling Talk live that you're going to get from us the rest of the year. But we will have some other content for you leading up to the end of the year. So, so for starters, once again, thanks for just always being here, hanging out with us live or downloading a podcast. We absolutely appreciate it. And yeah. And that's where we're at. If you
we're going to have to do end of year predictions for how much cocaine Tony's going to do.
So boy, that could be tough, man. Trying to figure out the ounces or in this case, pounds. If you're watching us live, make sure you throw all your comments into the box of your platform, whatever you're using, YouTube, Facebook Live, or Twitch. Okay. All right. So wrestling talk. Let's get right into our first segment, which is our Too Sweet for the week. All right, I'll start with you, Rob. What you got, man, for this week?
Oh man, the return of the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. With the phenomenal forearm, and then he sucker punches L.A. Drake Knight Eli something. I loved it. It came out of nowhere. Yeah. I love the reaction from Randy Orton where he just went like,
right.
I don't care. Because I love the fact that L.A. Knight realizes that he's not going to be as relevant now. So his attitude is he's going to latch on to Randy Orton and try to ride the coattails and stay on the stage. And I get it's kayfabe, that's the story. But it was good that Randy Orton was like, I don't give a shit. This isn't going to be another Matt Riddle scenario where I take this guy under my wings. This is a way different scenario.
Yeah.
So that was great. I also got to say I really did like the match with Jon Moxley and Swerve Strickland.
Okay.
Jon Moxley went a little bit more to the right as a heel than Swerve Strickland usually does. He rolled him up, he grabbed the tights, he suckered him in for the win. It was a great match. It was the two top guys on the card for the Continental Classic. So I enjoyed that thoroughly. It did everything it needed to do.
Sure. Okay. Let me go over to you, Mr. Matt Michaels. What you got?
You can't go wrong with when wrestling uses real life scenarios. Right. And that Seth Rollins CM Punk confrontation was
tell me that was awesome. And for what it did with Seth, like I like Seth, but this was like a different version of Seth in his promos that was like, wow, like you were just bringing it on. And it confuses the crowd too, because they want to like applaud that, but they want to like CM Punk too. But how do you like CM Punk when everything Rollins is saying is showing how bad CM Punk is? You know what I mean? It was
and you got that from the crowd, right? You got Rollins, you got half singing the song and half chanting for Punk.
Right.
And that is how you build a match to WrestleMania, right?
He got some awkward silences there as he was cutting that promo.
Kind of like you do when you're on stage.
Oh,
wow. Really brave from that booth over there. His interconnect connection works for that. He can insult me. His connection works for that.
Oh, man. No, but I mean, that's really just a good point just to mention. It was just like, wow, man, it was just that promo was just fire. And that's from both sides too. Even what CM Punk rebuttal was, hey, when I win this, I'm just going to come right back. I might just choose you.
Yeah, CM Punk's always talking out his rebuttal.
Yeah.
So Miz and DIY versus Imperium was a really nice match. Miz getting the opportunity now to do one more Intercontinental title shot, but if he loses, he'll never get it again against Gunther, which is perfect. And we're seeing the continuation of the destruction of Imperium, so that's great.
Yeah.
Cody versus Shinsuke is absolute beauty. I mean, Shinsuke is elevated now because he's in there with Cody, and Cody looks like $1,000,000 getting that shit sprayed in his face, and
blood, really.
Yeah, seriously, it's just fucking awesome.
And Shinsuke's promos are they're great as well. I mean, just reading that and everything, like it really touches on things where it's the idea of, hey, your whole story is not going to get finished, and I'm going to make sure of that. And I just love that whole theme.
Yeah, and using the idea of the parallel, of how they have very similar paths when they went through WrestleMania like that, and
right.
It's just it's good stuff, and it also is something that I've been saying for years that the WWE should have been doing, and that is using subtitles. Why not? Because
they're doing
really,
it with Io Shirai, and it works too.
Yeah,
and it doesn't take away from Io Sky's presentation, and it's more believable. I feel more invested in her than just screaming some gibberish that may or may not even be real Japanese, because they could literally be screaming anything I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
And they came off looking idiotic and not like serious contenders.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and the other thing too with it is the idea that you are now, it really does appreciate the idea of a global brand, because now you're basically saying to fans in these different countries, we're embracing your language.
Right.
You don't have to embrace our language. We're embracing your language. So we're giving you an opportunity. And it's pretty fucking awesome to see that. Dragon Lee versus Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate is a workhorse down in NXT. Always puts on great matches, and Dragon Lee looks like $1,000,000 in his first title defense. And Rob said it, AJ Styles coming back. I think AJ and LA Knight, that's a great mix. So I think that's what we're going to see possibly next. And that keeps LA Knight elevated without putting them in against Roman. And then you have Randy versus Roman. So
yeah.
What is your thought on LA Knight getting a mid-strap 2024?
Is it a 12-inch?
I mean, you got to have somebody else take the Intercontinental belt off Gunther, but giving that to LA Knight, maybe end of 2024, I would see that as a viable solution to have him do something.
Well, I mean, you got to get him over to
the brand.
Yeah, or switch,
trade.
But yeah, and I don't know, the question right now is how Gunther eventually loses that title.
It's got to be Miz.
I don't think it'll be Miz. I don't think it will be Miz. But it could be because of the stipulation. So,
all right, where's the love? All right, Matt Michaels, man, what you got?
The person who deserves the most love right now is R-Truth for just being R-Truth.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Good God. It's just so good. Having the lights and stuff to bring to the clubhouse.
He said, why did you lock the front and the back door? God, that was a great line.
I mean, he yells "Happy Thanksgiving" as he's leaving the
right
the first promo with all the faces backstage.
Yeah.
you know, and then just that segment with Judgment Day and, you know, getting a chance to get beat up by them, it adds more heat onto them as heels, because
Oh,
who
yeah.
doesn't like R-Truth, right? So
And that was the point they made, you know? Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
No,
Exactly.
I like him. I actually like him. I like him.
You know, that's good shit, especially too with the way they're working the mommy stuff, and the leadership and all that. You know, it's kind of cool because you have these inside fights going on, and then you have them bond over stuff they can all agree on, which is, let's kick this guy's ass.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
but Truth deserves everything, man. I mean, he is absolutely 100% a Hall of Famer. If Coco Beware is a Hall of Famer, Truth is.
Do you think he stayed looking as good as he has all these years because he hasn't had such a heavy workload?
No, I think black don't crack.
Yeah.
Okay, DJ, you have some explaining to do.
Boy, now I'm being attacked. You
got to steal some more TVs or something.
Sound bars.
Oh, man. All right. Let me roll over to you, Rob. Where's the love?
Remember that hot chick that was supposed to be hot, and we were promised that she would show up at ringside for all of these Andrade El Idolo matches, and she doesn't show up. She drops off Andrade El Idolo, and then CJ Perry walks off to the back, doesn't say anything, doesn't interact, doesn't say crush. You know, she doesn't reenact Rocky IV. We don't get any of it. We get none of the CJ Perry hotness from 10 years ago, and she didn't hit the wall, and she doesn't have to do the hokey Russian accent, although that usually gives me an extra 5 minutes. I mean, what are we doing here with this woman? Why do we have this gorgeous woman here and we're not fucking using her? What is the point of having? And I'd be the first to say, oh, don't do that to the woman. But what is the point of bringing in somebody whose sole purpose is to be TNA? And outside of the Impact roster, not use her. And double entendre. But yeah. I don't get that one at all. What's going on right now as far as other people, I'm very concerned again with LA Knight, because what do you do with them? And also I'm concerned about damage control, because you have, well, I shouldn't even say damage control. It's not damage control. It's what you do with all of these other people. Because now you've got Bianca Belair and Shotzi, and then assorted WWE women filling in gaps. Oh, Michin's back. Okay, I don't care.
Yeah, but that's meant to lose, right?
No, of course. But I feel bad for these people because.
But you do realize that there is someone who most likely has signed a contract and is going to be coming back most likely at the Rumble, and is going to make everyone go fucking insane that she's back.
You're right.
Oh, that she's all right. I thought I was following you for a second. Who am I? Oh, AJ?
Nope.
Who am I missing?
The boss. Sasha.
Oh. Yeah, that's because true.
Bailey, but remember, Bailey's her best friend. I mean, it's almost 100% already in the bag. It's signed.
And the other thing I was thinking, if she's been in the Performance Center, you know who I'm going to bring up. If the Royal Rumble is coming, that's the perfect way to introduce Jade Cargill, and then you can.
Jesus Christ! Here we go.
He's a Jade fan. You know.
Yeah.
Who
I like athletic wrestlers who can cosplay worth a damn, can win matches, and they have decent mic skills.
As long as she starts her ass, like I've been telling you from the beginning in NXT, it is all good.
If I see her on Gold Brand, I'm going to kick the shit out of Shawn Michaels for being so goddamn greedy. Get over here, you little bastard. I drag you by your hair, but you don't have any left.
Oh, boy. All right. Let's jump into our WTFs. I know there's got to be some this week. All right, Rob, you had any WTFs?
Well, I did mention it already. Hot Russian bendy wife, nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
That's a definite what the fuck. A Continental Classic with no storyline in sight, and a Jericho that is now rudderless. Because now what do you do there? You've got your tag team champions over at AEW that look very dry and very stale. Everyone was praising them. I think that's such a weird combination. I'm sure there's something glaring that I'm missing, but I find myself going to the AEW side, and I'll be perfectly honest, except for a few little wonderful little spots on Raw, I don't see anything on Raw worth freaking watching. I really don't. I mean, half of my gripe with NXT is just the amount of time I have in my schedule to put all this wrestling in. But on Raw for 3 hours and to have so little storyline, so little memorable about it. Yes, the Seth Rollins and CM Punk was great. Cody Rhodes was great with Shinsuke. And then past that, what the hell happened? What in the frick happened in Raw for that remaining 2 hours that you could actually write home and went, okay. Rhea Ripley's handling business. The Judgment Day's handling business. And then after that, it's assorted matches. You got big guy slapping man meat with the remaining Viking Raider and no name freaking Australian. And I don't care about any of it. There's nothing memorable about it. There's no storyline there. There's no progress. There's no payoff. At least with SmackDown, SmackDown's good because they layer the payoffs. And you go, okay, well, maybe Bayley's out. No, Bayley's back and better than ever. Okay, well, let's see what's going with LA Knight. Oh, well, we've got another layer with AJ Styles. But there's really nothing like that with Raw, at least from what I saw. So I'm like, what the hell's going on here? You're giving me an extra hour, and there's less for it.
Are you not digging the McIntyre thing? I know Matt probably hates it, but I think what they're doing with Drew right now is actually pretty nice.
But we've been here before. He's angry for the sake of being angry. He's angry at Uso for the sake of it. And I go, okay, fine. But the guy went to everybody else and said, yeah, I fucked you over. I'm sorry. Let me earn my way back.
He's angry for all of them because in some way he feels all betrayed by them all. So he's attacking them all.
He's attacking. Yeah, but if we really want to get to it, then he could just invade SmackDown and start Claymore kicking people. But he didn't do that. And if he were to do that, that would elevate him to a face level, and he'd be great, and he'd be over. But instead, he's beating up a guy who's much smaller, not in any way really somebody should be able to take him on. I'm just saying, by comparison, you're going to tell me that Jimmy Uso, if we're going, everyone's at full steam, full blast, as athletic as Jimmy Uso is, as flexible as he is in the ring, he's a high flyer when he needs to be. To be perfectly honest, he should be ragdolled by Drew McIntyre every time. And we're now making Drew just the jaded heel again, which is what he was all the way up until his title run. He was the jaded heel. He was being used as a heavy. He was being used as a background guy for other people. They teamed him up long ago with what's that? Nemeth. I'm blanking out right now. He's been so long.
Dolph Ziggler.
Dolph Ziggler. And that was a bizarro team. And it was just, I don't like heels who are just angry heels with no direction, is I guess what I'm saying.
All right.
So
I got you.
It just, I don't pay attention to it because we've seen this before. He hasn't added anything new in this heel run. I won't even call it a heel turn. Let's call it a heel run because he's done this so often, and it's very interchangeable with him.
I'm gonna go over to you, Matt. But before I do that, I really have had a hard time being sold on Chance and Carter. I've been hard on them since day one, and I still am. And by the way, I mean, they do a couple of moves in the ring that I do find that's pretty nice, like fascinating. It's pretty. One of them is when she's at the top of the rope, she's holding her hands up, and then she turns around and does. It's pretty cool, right? But I'm just not sold on them. So when I watched the match with them, and then it was Indy and Tegan, I don't know. That match to me looked like it was a bad NXT match. Like I've seen better.
Isn't that mostly redundant?
It was on Raw, first off. But what I'm saying is, it looked like
it wasn't Tegan. It was Candice.
Candice LeRae.
Candice
Candice.
LeRae.
Yes. All right, you're right. Yes, I'm sorry. Yep, you're right. It was Candice. But yeah, it was. I don't know. I don't know if I was wrong on that matter or not, but that was just my thoughts. Of I was watching that and going, I'm not feeling that one. But what was your thoughts overall on, I guess, WTFs?
Well, first off, those two as a tag, I've never.
Yeah, you don't feel them either, right? It's like I don't get the whole they're party girls, and it's like it's so. I don't know.
Oh, was that the one that they cut that promo? They're in Miami,
right?
And I'm like, yeah,
That's
been their gimmick from day one, but I just don't. I'm not
invested in it.
Yeah.
They've always been whatever. And the other thing too is that your tag champs are Chelsea and Piper and Evan, which again, it was a put together team, and
right.
They just don't have the time to develop an actual tag division that means something. They can't do it in the male division, so why expect anything in the female division? So
yeah,
give it to Kabuki Warriors. That's something. Give them a run for a few months.
Possibly.
I would be entertained by that.
Yeah, I mean, again, and if you do that, then you have potentially Bailey and Sasha wrestle those guys for the. So I mean, you got ideas if you do something with that.
And those two pairings of women have chemistry with each other. Asuka and the other has chemistry. Piper and Niven have no chemistry. Piper Niven and Chelsea Green have no chemistry.
Well, they have wonderful chemistry in terms of two different personalities being put together. That's fine. But in terms of in-ring, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
Let's see. I think they should change her name to Ruby Solo because that's what her career is sunk to. Jesus.
At least they're not doing the green bouquet of flowers anymore.
Dude, they're not doing anything. I mean, talk about go out there, get a paycheck, get pinned. I mean, she's a jobber now. It's ridiculous. Speaking of that, Jay Lethal and Briscoe are a fucking joke in this tournament.
I forgot about them.
Yeah, just fucking them over and having them not win a single fucking match so far. No points. Go fuck yourselves.
Jay's not very lethal these days.
No, and they referred on social media. They referred to or on someone referred to Mark Briscoe as Jay Briscoe. So it's just fucking stupid. Hangman Page got thrown through a car windshield, which means that Jack Perry is the devil. There's your spoiler alert on that. Moxley getting a win over Swerve, no fucking reason, fucking stupid. John Moxley doesn't need to be fucking spotlighted in this stupid fucking tournament. Make a new goddamn star with this tournament. No, we're gonna just use that motherfucker forever. Build your brand, TK.
My name is John Moxley, and when I have osteoporosis flare-ups.
Woo! Did someone say flare-ups? Woo!
John Moxley with a Ric Flair sequence suit. And by the way, that commercial will be 2 years from now because the way he's going.
Yeah, right. Seriously. Let's see. We get a vignette with Adam fucking Copeland and his fucking lame ass motherfucking go away Edge fucking bullshit. Talking about not capturing the TNT title from Christian and challenging Christian for a match at World's End for a no DQ title match. Who fucking motherfucking cares? God damn it. If there was any fucking chance of a real buried alive match, please put him in it and just have him ended. Please.
Wow.
God
You got to
fucking
do like the one with Paul Bearer where they poured liquid, just poured concrete on him.
cement. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
fuck yeah.
Just cement his ass.
Yeah, absolutely. So you have Jake Hager lose this or I don't know if he didn't really lose the match. I don't think he got pinned, but anyway, Kevin Von Erich, who's 66 fucking years old, comes down and puts a goddamn claw on Hangman Page and puts, or not on Page.
Excuse me, you show respect. That's the Iron Claw.
Yeah. Well,
with his fucker barefoot wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah. So Hager, I mean, you just fucking devalue that dude.
You Iron Claw Jake Hager is a cage fighter.
Yeah. It's just unbelievable. ROH had a pay-per-view apparently.
Did they?
Who the fuck cares? Who the fuck knows? But your pre-show started with Taya Valkyrie defeating Jasmine Allure for no fucking reason, apparently. And then on your actual pay-per-view, you have Nyla Rose beat Vert Vixen, so using Taya Valkyrie on your fucking pre-show against someone for no reason, and then you're putting Nyla Rose on the pay-per-view against Vert fucking Vixen, who's not technically even signed with you. Fucking ridiculous. Kyle Fletcher.
Here's a problem with your anguish over this, Matt. You see, you made the mistake of watching it.
Well, it just. I mean, listen. Kyle Fletcher defeated 5 other men to win the TV title. Who the fuck is Kyle Fletcher? Got me. FTR and Mark Briscoe defeated Blackpool Combat Club. Why the fuck is Blackpool Combat Club on our ROH, and why is FTR on ROH? And Mark Briscoe again should be the fucking ROH brand, but is 0-19,000 in this fucking tournament. But put them with FTR and they beat Blackpool Combat. It makes no fucking sense. And Eddie Kingston had to have a match on this pay-per-view because he wasn't defending the title. And apparently Anthony, whoever the fuck this is, Henry, challenged him for the title. And of course, Kingston won. What the fuck? What the fuck? Put it out of its misery. Bischoff was right.
Yeah, Bischoff. Yeah, it's a Ring of Honor in name only. You bought it for the sake of it, but then you're not using it properly.
Just, you know what? Jay Lethal, if he has one more lethal injection, just put it into fucking ROH.
Well, no, he's got to tag with Mark Briscoe, and now they'll lose together.
Well, guys, look, we're going to definitely talk about, that's one of our 3 count topics later on. We're going to talk a little bit about ROH or what Eric Bischoff's thoughts are, and it's kind of where you all are at. So we'll talk about that as a part of 3 counts. Y'all kind of already got an early listen to that, just listening to what we just heard. But let's jump over to see. We got to be excited and looking out for something. So let's see. All right. I'll jump over to you first, Matt. The Lookout. What you looking out for?
Ivy Nile had a nice stare down with Rhea Ripley. Obviously, Ivy's not going to win against Rhea for the title or anything like that, but it's a great physical, matchup between the two of them. So that should be a nice little story for a little bit. Nia Jax and Becky Lynch are finally, after 5 years, going to see if Becky really is the man, or if it was just Nia punching her in her face that made her the man.
Yeah, I thought that was getting punched in the face.
I thought that was a good story, though.
It's a great story.
Yeah.
Again, it's reality. Use the fucking reality.
Yeah.
And that's what Raw is doing right now, is using these real fucking conflicts to give some story to it.
Right.
Nikita Lyons is back. Hell yeah. And then she gets pinned in the main event, tagging with Lyra and going against Cora Jade and Blair Davenport. but that was a great match, and those four are just phenomenal. Mello ended up accidentally grabbing the title from the champion and hitting Trick in the head with it. So we're still seeing the buildup between Trick and Mello. I'm looking forward to seeing the 9th startup of Karrion Kross and what happens with the rebirth this time.
Right. Right.
How many times has he said time's up? His time was up a long time ago.
I don't know, man, but the hair's looking great. So
He didn't even have to go the Austin Theory route and have him plug it back in the front.
Yeah. Yeah, the devil reveal, John, is that it's fucking Jack Perry. Hangman Page got through and through a fucking window of glass, and didn't they fucking do something last week or the week before where someone got thrown through some glass?
What if it was Rhodes though? What if it was
Rhodes?
Yeah.
What if is Cody back?
No. Dusty. Dustin Rhodes.
Dusty?
I mean, Dustin Rhodes. I'm not saying Dusty Rhodes. Dustin Rhodes. That'd be fucking. First of all, that'd be an amazing suit. No, what if it's old Gold Dust? Because did we ever get an idea of how big he is in relationship to other people, or are they just doing like what they used to do in TNA with Suicide, where they just have random wrestlers filling the costume?
They haven't put him out like that really yet.
We really don't have a good idea for who it could be.
You've just seen him on the camera shots, and then on the he was in the car. So it's most likely Jack Perry, and everyone's going to be pissed about it. Blah blah blah.
Well, what would you do if it's Jack Perry? Where do you go with that? Because he's too freaking. He's still too much of a baby face to be a believable heel.
Well, this whole thing was he was a heel.
Yeah, I know, but he was not a good
Hollywood thing or whatever the fuck it was supposed to be. Who the fuck knows? I don't know, dude. I don't know what the fuck they're doing in that company. But Thunder Rosa is finally looking to get back in the ring as she helped out Abaddon, who apparently is 44-4 in AEW, and I think I've only ever seen her wrestle 3 times.
This time on Impact Dark. After Dark, Before Dark, and Ring of Honor.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, she probably had a bunch of matches in the Ring of Honor that no one fucking sees.
All right, Rob, let me ask you, man, what you looking out for?
Well, obviously, I want to see what AJ Styles is going to do. I'm actually excited about SmackDown to see which direction is he going to go, because we didn't get the idea that he was a face or a heel. I mean, he did the forearm to Roman Reigns and then walked right by him like it was nothing. So I wasn't certain what the hell I was watching there. I thought that was good writing. You left me hanging.
Yeah. And I can't wait to see what was AJ is upset with him about, because I can't remember them ever crossing. If they
never interacted with one another.
Right. So it's going to be great to see where they go with that. I'm interested in that too.
Now, you could take a really interesting direction with this and go, you know what? I'm 5'10". There's no way in hell I'm going to take on Randy Orton, but I could take you out. And I want people to know I'm not here to be a jobber, and I'm not here to be a nostalgia piece. I'm here to be a serious contender. I'm just saying. Because it made no sense to me. He attacked the only other guy that he had leverage over, physically had leverage, because when he was in the ring, he was the littlest guy. He had the smallest stature of anyone in the ring. So it caught me by surprise. He was dressed in the all black. Is it a heel turn? I don't know.
I think it'd be something as simple as, something like when AJ got into the industry, it was very, tough for him to get to the level. And this guy walks right in and everyone's showing him this love and blah, blah. It's going to probably be something towards that, unless there's just something that happened we never paid any attention to, some backstage. Sure. Yeah, something backstage, someone walked past, and then we just never paid no attention.
But then what I also want to see then is if he's back and he's a heel, Carl and Anderson. I want to see Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows. I want to see them, the Good Brothers, come back. They've made mention of the Bullet Club in passing on WWE. They've used it as a reference a couple of times. So if they bring back the club and make them full out heels, yeah, that would have been something I'd be interested in. So I'd like to see those two guys come back because they're a great tag team, but they're just not being used. Yeah, the Good Brothers are either overutilized or underutilized. There is no in between. There's no balance for them. You either get them on your screen like 5 times a fucking show of anything. It could be Impact, it could be AEW, it could be WWE. They're hard workers, and then when they get oversaturated, and then you don't see them for a while.
No, I think John hit it. It's going to be he took my spot in Impact, and this is going to be because Impact is now with Endeavor on the streaming service. That's how they're going to, start bringing TNA into the mix into WWE. So that's it.
Will they be able to do that? Will they be able to legally mention to go, that forbidden? I'm being serious. Are they going to
do whatever they had fucking Mickey James on their fucking pay-per-view.
That was great, by the way. Oh, when she came out with the hardcore country theme and not that old Mickey You're So Fine knockoff bullshit, and she had her title, the TNA title. I was like, the Impact Women's title. I was like,
I think John, you're right. Watch AJ reunite with Omos in time for a Mania tag match. Yes. Yes. And they'll go against Braun Strowman, who's returning, and Nicholas.
Oh, boy.
Who is now
a 9-year-old. How old is he now? Like 12 or 13?
Now he's 27.
I'm trying
TV,
to do
man. Why not?
You had me for a second there.
Yeah.
You know what?
He was
have negative.
He was really trying to
have -1 with him, and -1 will be like 23 years old. With him.
All right. Best in show. All right. Rob, best in show. Who are you giving it to?
The Smacketh Down. They have deep storytelling.
Roman Reigns again. Yes, the tribal chief.
The tribal chief came back.
Yeah.
I like his indignant responses to Randy Orton. I mean, Roman Reigns didn't develop any further than he does. He sits in his little room with his little jumpsuit on, being all brooding and shit. But everything that's going on around him is really fucking entertaining. There's layers to the story. And I like what Damage Control is doing. I'd like them to have some viable opponents. I guess we're going to get into the fact that there is no Charlotte Flair for the moment because her knee injury is what we thought it was. It is bad. But yeah, SmackDown just did layers and layers of good.
Yeah, and I got to say, I mean, shout out to how they started the show where Jimmy really thought that Roman was going to say he was going to be the next tribal chief. He's excited. He's taking his jacket off. I mean, that was shout out to Jimmy on that because you saw what was happening and he played it up really good. And we already knew it was going to go to Solo, and it was just
his acting. He's so hammy. And when he goes, oh yeah, you're like, ooh, I love it. I love it. He's so cringy. But I have one question. Like, I don't know what his training regimen is. Why is his brother able to take the shirt off, flex the pecs? This guy's still coming out with like clothes he bought at TJ Maxx as his ring attire. I don't get what that's all about. He just looks less viable. He looks like a punching bag. And I know that's what they're going for for all intents and purposes, but I think he's better. He's a little bit better than what they're making him out right now.
All right, Matt Michaels, best in show.
It was Raw, hands down. And but let's just pretend I'm Steve. So by far, Collision was the best show in wrestling ever. It was amazing. Only 200,000 people got to see it, but it was fabulous. It was amazing. You got to see
it. They were deprived the opportunity.
Yeah, well, I mean, Daniel Bryan was able to get a win in this tournament. because he obviously needed it, and it's amazing show. And I think that wait, no, I'm sorry, ROH, the pay-per-view was fucking amazing, and that was the best show of the week, because those guys just put on a hell of a show. It was
That opening match where Taya Valkyrie fought the ticket collector was great.
That just sounds
oh, I'm bringing back the Brooklyn Brawler and making him the ticket collector. Oh yeah, Pally.
Oh man. All right. Well, with that, everybody.
It hurt her knees going down on Rick.
Oh boy. Merry Christmas.
It's a Merry Christmas because a genetic jackhammer is going to show what a real man is. And if she doesn't like it, she'll be fired.
Is that where the mistletoe was?
Oh man. Listen, everybody, once again, thanks for hanging out with us. We truly appreciate it. Wish you a happy holidays. And like I say, we'll be back live in the new year, but we're gonna have all types of content being provided up to the new year. Okay. So with that, thank you again for listening and hanging out. For y'all who watching us, 3 counts coming up next. So get ready to
maybe Donald Trump will visit.
Oh, yeah. Maybe he's got a holiday message or something he wants to say. Who knows? But until then, peace out and happy wrestling.